Hey, this is Matthew with BI Polar. Welcome back to another episode of our series on being a PM at Microsoft. In this video, I want to get personal, and specifically, I want to share the importance to your success of contributing to the success of others. I hope you'll stay with me. Welcome back. If you're new to the series, make sure you check out the introductory video where I explain how I'm essentially sharing with you today some of the advice that I wish someone had shared with me back 15 years ago when I first became a PM at Microsoft. No one did, but maybe you can learn from some of the lessons and some of the mistakes that I've made along the way so that you can have a more successful career as a PM at Microsoft today, or if you want to be a PM at Microsoft, if you're in a similar role or working at a similar company. This particular video is really going to bridge some of the old days and new days because it's about contributing to the success of others. One of the key things to keep in mind is that Microsoft is a huge company. When we say big tech, Microsoft really is, at least in my experience, a completely different environment or completely different place to work than anywhere else that I've worked in the tech industry. And back in the bad old days, so if you go back 10 or more years before Satya Nadella became the CEO of Microsoft, there was this stereotype and running joke that you would see sometimes in the tech press as they were talking about Microsoft. I remember seeing a cartoon that showed an org chart, so the little circles with the lines connecting them from the top to the bottom, and each of the circles on the org chart had a gun pointed at the other ones. When I started at Microsoft in 2008, there was a lot of competition. The way that the company was structured, the culture of both team and org collaboration or competition between each other, and the compensation model was really set up to encourage, or at least my perception, was that it was set up to encourage competition both at individual and organizational levels. In order for me to succeed as a PM, it wasn't about delivering, it was about delivering more than another person within my organization, because unless I did more than they did, they were going to get the bonus, they were going to get the promotion, they were going to get the raise. And because of that, I saw a lot of people essentially refusing or being reluctant to help others because helping someone else basically meant that there was less for you. And one of the things that I absolutely love about working at Microsoft today is this one Microsoft culture. If you search for this online, you'll find lots of articles from when Satya Nadella first started going down this path and changing the culture of the organization as a whole. And in my lived experience, Microsoft today, or at least the part of Microsoft where I work, it really does reflect these cultural changes that you hear our leaders talking about so aspirationally. I know that Microsoft is a big company, so there may not be a full experience everywhere that matches mine, but what I want to share with you is essentially the before and after, and the way that I see PMs thriving in today's Microsoft. Now, in the old days, there were a couple phrases that came up again and again, or phrases that I still hear occasionally referring to some of the older ways of working. There was the concept of empire building. So I as a leader, I want the biggest team, the biggest organization possible, because this means that I can deliver more. And the success and the impact that I deliver is in many ways the function of the head count that I have, the number of people that work for me. There was a phrase that one of my earlier managers introduced to me, and that is licking the cookies. So imagine you're at a party and a tray of cookies comes out, and you know that you can't eat them all, but you don't want anybody else to have any, so you lick all the cookies so nobody else wants them. This is another unhealthy behavior that I see very little today, but it's one of those things where someone will raise their hand and say, I own this. My organization will deliver on this priority, deliver this solution, deliver this functionality, when it may make sense for another org or another team to own it, or for responsibilities to be shared. Very often this licking the cookies phrase is introduced where there's this selfish context that's coming in. We're not doing it for the good of the organization or for the good of our customers. We're doing it for what we perceive as our future good. And related to these two negative phrases is the whole not invented here syndrome. It used to be that we might reinvent something, or a team might reinvent something, that there was an existing example elsewhere, because they wanted to ship the thing that they created, because this is where impact, this is where rewards came from. And I want to emphasize that in today's Microsoft, these are not patterns for success. And when you think about the way that we measure impact today, so think about how the way that we are feeding into the rewards process, the promotion process, and so on, it all comes down to the impact that you deliver. But there are those 3 circles of impact that you always need to keep in mind. The first and most obvious one is the business value that you deliver through your direct contributions. I don't want to downplay this at all, but I do want to emphasize the other 2. So the first additional circle of impact is the way that you enable the success of others. So if you, for example, you learn a process and you document it and share it, or you build a library, or you build a reusable functionality that can then be reused by another team, like all of these things, even if most of the work is being done by someone else, if you've performed some foundational work that then enables the success of others, this is one of the primary ways that you can deliver impact, and good managers in healthy organizations recognize that and respect that. So the mental model that I have, like this is a thing that I blogged about years ago, I look for ways where I might be able to invest 5 minutes to save somebody else an hour, or invest an hour to save someone a day, or to invest a day to save someone a month. Those are the sweet spots, the places where I will prioritize enabling another team, even if it's not part of my core priorities or the core goals that I'm working towards this cycle, whatever that cycle might be, because this is one of the key ways that I can deliver impact. And if I spend a couple hours, and this enables another person or another team to deliver real significant results because I was there with the right advice, the right experience, the right help at the right time, this really does come back at the end of the year. The other aspect of this, so the second additional circle of impact, this is how you can build on the success of others to deliver your own work. It's kind of the other side of that coin. And this is another place where magic happens. If you understand what others across your team or across your organization are doing, and you see that you can reuse, to build on, to repurpose, or possibly reinvent something, sort of standing on the shoulders of giants, this is something that is explicitly encouraged in the way that rewards are structured at Microsoft today. We want to collaborate, we want to cooperate, we want to help each other and be helped by others as well. This is really where everything comes together. And when I reflect back on my career, those first 5 years or so that I spent at Microsoft before Satya became the CEO, I really struggled. The way that I work day to day, it's very rarely about me. It's about lifting others up, enabling them, being the connector rather than the hero of the story, as it were. Because of this, when this one Microsoft culture became real and more of Microsoft really aligned with this cultural vision, it transformed my life. It really enabled my career to start picking up speed and thriving. And here's the deal. Like, this is the bottom line. There are always going to be more problems to solve and more things to do and more things to own. then there will be people to do them. And people will always remember how you treated them and how you acted in their time of need. So many times in the past 5 or 10 years, good things have come back to me months later or years later because I was there willing to lend a hand, lend an ear, lend a word of advice when another person or another team needed it. And those gifts, it was an investment in my future success. They don't all come back, but more and more they do. And more of my day to day at Microsoft is really a function of the help that I gave to others and the way that I was helped by others in the past. I hope that this resonates with you. I hope that you can look around at where you are today and see how this advice about investing in the success of others can help you achieve your goals and thrive and grow in your career. Drop comments below, like, subscribe, comment. I am really relying on your feedback to help keep me honest and keep this series on track. So let me know if this works for you. Let me know if your experience is similar, if you've had either similar or different growth paths. If you're a PM at Microsoft already today, really can't wait to hear what you have to say. And I can't wait to see you next time. Take care.